Hey guys, Amy from raisingarrows.net here, and I had a reader ask me to do a video on how I meal plan using Evernote. So I realized I talk about meal planning in Evernote all the time, but I've never actually shown you how I do it. And so that is what this video is going to be all about. So when I go to meal plan, I just open up Evernote in my browser. I do have the app on my phone, and I also have the offline version, and they all sync up with each other. But typically, I am opening up Evernote, Google Keep, and my Google Calendar all at the same time, and so I just do it in my browser. I open up the calendar so that I can see what we're going to be doing that week. I open up Google Keep because that's where my grocery list is. And then Evernote is where I am meal planning. What I like about Evernote is that you can save links from the internet as hyperlinks into a meal plan and just click on them and go straight there from either the app or the browser. You can send them to your family members so that they can cook from that meal plan, and you can save recipes directly into Evernote if you want to. A lot of times I actually just do the URL, but I do have a folder in Evernote called Recipes to Try and Recipes We Like or something like that, where I have saved those recipes. The really neat thing about Evernote is that it integrates with Google. So if I were to Google fudge recipe, if I had saved a fudge recipe already into Evernote from the internet, it would show up in my Google search off to the side as a suggestion. Maybe I want that fudge recipe. And a lot of times that is exactly what I'm looking for, and I'd already saved it. I do use the free version of Evernote. I have never had a need to use anything but the free version. And like I said, I do use Evernote a lot, and I have no need for anything other than the free version. So I would suggest you can probably start with the free version and be just fine if you decide to use Evernote to meal plan. So the way that this works is when I start my meal plan, I go over here to this section that says New Note, and I just click on New Note, and it brings this up. I always have my new notes go into this inbox. The reason there's an exclamation point is that puts it at the very top rather than alphabetically. It puts it at the very top of my page so that inbox is always at the top. This is a trick I learned from Misty Winkler from Simplified Organization, and it keeps it up there. I always have my meal plans go there first so they're easier to find, and then later I move them into a file called Weekly Meal Plan. The title is always the date that I'm starting my meal plan. So you'll see down here, this is the meal plan I've been working on. We're going to go shopping tomorrow, and so I am working on this meal plan. I just put the date there. The reason I do that with the month, day, and year is because I have been doing this since 2013 or 14, I believe, and I like to go back and see what we had around certain holidays or seasons. If we had a really yummy meal during Mother's Day or something like that, I want to be able to go back and see what we had. You can also search for different things that you may have had during those times. Like if you had sloppy joes and you really liked that particular sloppy joe recipe, you could simply search for sloppy joes in case you've lost or misplaced that sloppy joe recipe because you knew you really liked it when you did it in the meal plan some time ago. So you do have that option to search there, but I like to have the dates here so that I can go back and look through them. The other thing you're going to find is that it's a place to reminisce if you ever care to do that, because I tend to write notes to myself in my meal plan. If it were a paper meal plan, I would just throw it away. But I have kept these ever since I started doing this, and they have little notes like this is, we went somewhere, or I tried this and it was really good. And I've just kind of made little notes to myself. So I want to show you how I do a couple of different things with my meal plan. Currently, I am planning breakfast, lunch, and dinner because I'm doing Trim Healthy Mama right now. And so in order to keep myself on track, I have to plan all three. A lot of times, though, I am only planning dinner. And when I only plan dinner, I would simply have the day of the week and the meal underneath it with any sides that we might be having or any notations about so-and-so's coming to dinner, or so-and-so has a swimming lesson, or things like that. I would notate there as well, because a lot of times breakfast for us is get your own, lunch is soup, salad, or sandwiches, and then I only plan dinner. But currently I'm cooking my way through Trim Healthy Table. So I'm trying new recipes, and I am I'm planning breakfast, lunch, and dinner just to help myself stay on track. I'm also making notes, like I'd like to try this peanut butter cheesecake bowl. It is a printout. It's something that I printed off the internet. I'm going to put it into my Trim Healthy Mama notebook that I keep with some recipes. So that's how I know that is a printed out copy. Now, like here with the lazy lasagna, it's page 69. I know that that is from Trim Healthy Table because either I'm going to put THT next to it, or I am only cooking out of one cookbook, and that tends to be what I do. I mentioned that in a recent post I did on weekly meal planning and grocery shopping, that it's very beneficial to only use one cookbook when you are weekly meal planning, so that you're just pulling out one cookbook for the entire week and cooking out of it. I also use recipes off the internet, and so this one was off the internet. I also have it someplace else, but I couldn't find it, so I looked it up on the internet because I knew where it was there. Typically what I would do is I would just highlight this and then use the hyperlink feature to put the link in there. For some reason, I just stuck it off to the side here. I also wrote myself a note that I wanted to cook down some strawberries. That just is a good reminder for me of what I plan on putting on top of the pancakes. Now down here you'll see that it says out. That means that Ty and I are going to go on a date, and the kids are going to cut up some block cheese and eat some MREs. Now those of you who are military wives are going to laugh at me here, but my husband ended up with a whole bunch of extra MREs, which are meals ready to eat. They're meals that they have out in the field. He ended up with a bunch of them. My kids think they're super cool. So we have this bucket of MREs, and the kids are going to eat from that tomorrow, and they're going to love it. Personally, I don't like MREs, but they do. On down here, you'll see I just go from Saturday to Sunday. I go all the way down. I tell myself sometimes the sides that I'm planning on, or if I'm going to add Texas toast for the kids for this particular meal. Lunch here is going to be rice for the kids. I'm planning on just having leftovers. And that gives me a guideline to see what I'm going to be having for the week. Now, I told you I open up my calendar, Google Keep, and Evernote in my browser all at the same time. And that is because when I start at the top of my meal list, I do not go to the next thing until I have made sure that I have written down all of the items I need to purchase in Google Keep. I make sure that I have things on hand. If I don't have them on hand, I put them in Google Keep before I close down any browser windows for the particular recipe I'm making, or before I move on to something else, because otherwise I'm going to forget, and I'm going to end up coming back and not able to cook what I wanted to cook because I didn't get everything at the store. So I try to be very systematic and make sure that everything from each individual meal is put onto Google Keep before I move on. I'm currently only recording this one screen, so I can't move over and show you Google Keep, but I will do a separate video for you so that you can see how I integrate those two. But basically, Google Keep is just part of your Gmail suite, and you can go in there and make checklists, and they are able to be seen on your phone. You can just click on each of the check mark boxes and mark off the things as you go. I can share them with my husband. He's able to add things to the list. It's just been a very good way for us to grocery shop and make our grocery list. And you can make multiple lists in there. We have lots and lots of lists. But currently we shop mostly Aldi and Walmart. Those are our current shopping lists that are mostly used. And so I have those three windows open. When I'm shopping, I make sure that each individual recipe is being put into the Google Keep by the ingredients, and then I move on and continue to fill in the rest of my meal plan. And so that is how I meal plan using Evernote. It's pretty simplistic, but I love the fact that I can click on recipes and I can go straight to the recipe on the internet. I don't have to have everything printed out. It makes it very, very nice and easy to use. I can share this with my kids if they're going to be cooking. And it's just a very simplistic platform, easy for me to understand and use and be able to use recipes from the internet that way. So I hope that makes a little more sense to those of you who've been wondering how exactly I use Evernote to meal plan. And if you have any other questions, feel free to ask, and I will try to get up a video about the Google Keep as well, just to share that with you.